Okay, good morning, students. Today we'll be starting with our new chapter, that is Olympic movement. Olympics, the biggest festival of sports conducted every 4 years. Within a gap of every after 4 years, that is known as Olympics. Asian game is also conducted after 4 years, but in which all the countries of the world participate in which all the countries of the world participate, that is Olympics. Major participation is Olympics, in which all the continents of the world are participating, that is Olympics. And in which Asian countries are participating, that is Asian Games. It is a big festival regarding sports. It is called the, you can say, big festival regarding sports, that is Olympics. When was Olympics started? What was the aim of starting of Olympics? Nobody knows about it. But if we will go little bit back, and if we'll think about it, what the history is saying, that it was started somewhat around about 776 BC. 776 BC. What the history is saying. Right now, nobody is having the proof, but what the history, what the historians and what to say, the knowledge, up to the knowledge, what it has been brought to the knowledge of the people, it is in the 776 BC. At that time, it was not the full Olympic what has been conducted right now. It was starting with the first event that was held in the ancient Olympics, that was the first event that was held in the first Olympics in the 776 BC, that was foot race. Only one event was held, that was foot race. Afterwards, few races were added more, and they were like chariot race, pentathlon. Pentathlon means five events. That is foot race. After that comes discus. After that, javelin, wrestling, and sprint. And one more was there, that is hoplitrodome. What is hoplitrodome? It is that, okay, running. It is also a foot race, but running with the full armor. That is like, if you have seen the soldiers, in the ancient time, they were soldiers running with full armor, full dress. That was known as hoplitrodome. So like foot race. After that, pentathlon was introduced. After that, plus chariot race. Chariot race. All these were introduced afterwards. But in the start, when the first Olympics was held, it was only foot race, and it was won by one of the cooks. That name that name we will discuss afterwards. That first event that was held in the ancient Olympic Games was foot race. After that, discussion was held, and later on, few events were more added. That is pentathlon. In this, you can say, okay, discus throw was there, javelin was there, foot race was there, wrestling was there, as well as sprint was there. So these were the different items that were added later on. These are different items that were added later on. Now, uh, if any tournament is being organized, or any event is being organized, there are some rules and regulations made by particular committee or particular people. So if it was held in the first Olympics was held in Olympia in Athens. Olympia, you can say the stadium that is known as Olympia in Athens. So they have made some rules and regulations. Then only you can participate in that Olympic Games. Otherwise, you can't say that, okay, now the rules have changed, but earlier, when in the early stages, the rules are made like that way. Only free-born Greeks. Only free-born Greek person or individual was allowed to participate in Olympic Games. No slave or convict of any, you can say, of any theft, stealing, and all that. Any convict. No convict or slave was allowed to participate in the ancient Olympic Games. After that was that other rule was that only women were allowed before their marriage. After the marriage, no women were allowed to participate in Olympic Games. And most important, no professional was allowed to participate in the Olympic Games. Only those who were taking training, they were made to take an oath or given letter undertaken underwriting that if you have there were rules and regulations made for them, like you are supposed to take 10 months training outside, but 1 month when you're coming to participate in Olympic Games, you have to stay in the Olympia. Then only you can participate in the Olympic Games. They were the rules and regulations made by the society, made by the committee. Then afterwards, no professional was allowed, and 1 month you have to stay in the Olympia only. You have to give in you have to give undertaking. You have to give in an undertaking that 10 months, 10 months, 10 months you have prepared outside the Olympia. That you have taken a training, you have undergone a training that is outside the Olympia, and 1 month you have to stay in the Olympia. 1 month you have to stay in the Olympia. In the Olympia, these were the rules and regulations made by these were rules and regulations made by the particular committee. After that, there were decline in the Olympics participation. What was the gift given to them that time? It was that wreath of olive branch, of olive leaves. That was given on that was worn on the head, like you can say crown, but only thin lining of that olive branch, olive leaves was taken, and it was worn on that head. That was given to the winners of that particular race. After that came modern Olympic Games. Any idea when was the modern Olympic Games started? Okay, or Asian Games, Asian Olympic Games, we came to know it was in the year 776 BC. Now modern Olympic Games. What was the aim? What was the motto to start Olympic Games? It was started in 1896. It was started in 1896, but the foundation was laid much far earlier than 1896. It was Pierre de Coubertin. Pierre de Coubertin. That is, he is also known as the father of modern Olympic Games. He is also known as father of the modern Olympic Games. Pierre de Coubertin. He was a Parisian. He saw an advantage in conducting the Olympic Games. What was the advantage? His motto was that his motto was first motto was that bring unity and peace among all the nations of the world. To first aim of Pierre de Coubertin to bring peace and unity among all the nations of the world. That is why he thought about conducting Olympic Games, and that was one of the best reason that Olympic Games started. In 1891, he thought about it, and the discussion was carried among different countries, different person, different president, different prime minister of different countries, and then a platform was set for conducting the Olympic Games. It was in 1896 when the Olympic Games was conducted, and in the first time only, or what to say, whole world didn't participate. You can say that right now 200 countries are there. Earlier it was 50, 60 countries were there, but at that time only nine countries participated in the first Olympic Games. After that, see, as earlier I have told you, rules and regulations were made. Rules and regulations were made for Asian Olympic Games. So now, again, they were made for the modern Olympic Games. What was the new rules? Now, new rules that an individual was supposed to be an individual of that particular country. Then only he can represent that country. Suppose if you are an Indian, you can represent India. Tomorrow, if you are having citizenship of other country, then only you will represent other country. But if you are participating from one particular country, you are not allowed to participate from other country till that country has become independent or gain its own name. Like India was under British rule. So suppose Indians were participating, but they were participating under the flag of Britishers, England. Now, if India became a free country, then only Indians can participate in the name of India. So this was the rule. Now earlier, no woman was allowed to participate. Irrespective of the if afterwards marriage were done. Here, both the gender were allowed to participate. In the Olympic Games. Male as well as female, irrespective of the age. You can't say that okay, 40 years if he is good in let it at 35 years of age, then also he can participate. Now the rules have become like that way that you have to qualify for the Olympic Games. If you are not able to qualify for the Olympic Games, automatically you are out of the race. So rules are made for that. Okay, an individual can participate from one country. And he will not allowed to participate from other country. If that country is not free, if that particular country becomes free from other country, then they can participate. Otherwise, he was allowed to participate from one country only. Both the genders were allowed to participate. And most important thing, like earlier, professionals are not allowed. Now professionals are allowed. You can't say okay, take training for 10 months and then you come to participate Olympic. Nowadays you are saying that you are also seeing daily rules are made. Rules are being made. How rules are being made? If you are a professional, if you are going underground, if you are going training, then only rules can be made. So these were the rules made by Pierre de Coubertin. Father of modern Olympic Games is Pierre de Coubertin. After that came symbol of the Olympic flag. Now, yesterday also I have told you, this is the homework for you. Find out. I will tell you only that 5 interlocked rings were there. That Pierre de Coubertin made, and that emblem was made on white silk flag. White silk flag which represent peace. On that 5 rings were made, representing hint I am giving you, but you find out the color and which these 5 rings were representing 5 continents of the world. So which color, which continent is representing, that you have to find out and write in your copy. After that, he made an oath also. Oath, you might be knowing, okay, in the sports day you might have heard that okay, I will take part in the sports day, in the sports event with full without I will follow rules and regulations. and that is 3 to 4 lines both that I'll make you write afterwards. After that came motto of Olympic Games. Motto. The motto of the Olympic Games was derived from Latin word that is Citius Altius Fortius. Citius Altius Fortius. What does it mean? Faster, higher, stronger. Faster, higher, stronger. This is the motto of the modern Olympic Games. It is derived from a Latin word that is Citius. Three Latin words. Motto is derived from three Latin words that is Citius, Altius, Fortius. That means faster, higher, stronger. Okay. Now today we have learned what were the ancient Olympic Games, what were the rules and regulations in the ancient Olympic Games. After that, when did the modern Olympic Games started? Who started it? Who is known as the father of modern Olympic Games? Who is the father? Baron Pierre de Coubertin. Pierre, P-I-E-R-E, Pierre de Coubertin, D-E Coubertin. What was the aim? To bring unity and peace among all the countries of the world. He started Olympic Games in 1896. And after that, rules were modified. In the earlier, only 9 countries participated, but as the countries became independent from other countries, later on the number of participants increased. 2 times the Olympic Games were not conducted. That is why during first World War I and World War II, and one time it was boycotted. That years we will come to we will talk later on. So what is the Olympic symbol? Olympic symbol is the 5 rings interlocked. The rings carrying different colors. What does they represent? They represent 5 continents. They represent 5 continents of the world. Now you have to write which continent, which color represent. Find out the colors and which continent is representing which color, that you have to write in your copy. After that came oath, that I will make you write afterwards. Now, motto of the Olympic Games. Motto. It is derived from three Latin words, that is Citius, Altius, Fortius. Means faster, higher, stronger. Now 2 more topics are remaining in this chapter. That one is, you can you can say IOA. Yesterday we discussed what is IOA, Indian Governing Body of Olympic. That is Indian Olympic Association, and IOC, International Olympic Committee. What is their duties? What are their functions? How many president, vice president, or executive board they are having? That we will discuss later on. So these 2 topics are remaining. In our next class, we will be dealing with these 2 topics. So if you have any doubt, you are most welcome. After that 2 topics, these 2 chapters will be over. Changing trends in physical education as well as Olympic movement. If you have any doubt, you are most welcome in the doubt class regarding